guys, I'm Monica and welcome back to Nika Fictional Fandoms where I talk about books and everything bookish. Today I'm going to talk about all the books I read in August. I read a total of 4 books, not a lot, but I did have a good reading experience and I'd like to talk about them. So let's begin. For the reading stats, I read 2 thrillers, 1 non-fiction and 1 Indian historical fiction. Format-wise, I read 2 ebooks and 2 audiobooks. Rating-wise, I read 1 5-star, 2 4 stars and 1 3 stars. All these books that I picked up were either for a readathon or it was a book club pick, which I'm really happy about, and that I finally got into readathons and book clubs. So the first book I picked up was Lullaby by Leila Slimani. This book I picked up for 2 reasons. One, that it won the Prix Goncourt Award in 2016, and also that it was a book written by a woman in translation. This is a thriller and it was translated from French. It's a story about a French Moroccan lawyer, Miriam, and her husband, who was appointed a nanny, and they're really dependent on this nanny, and the nanny is also devoted towards her work and the kids. But over time, resentment and jealousy and suspicion started to increase and the tragedy occurs. What I really liked about this book is that it doesn't focus on the who did it or what happened, but why something like this happened. So right in the very first page of this book, you get the bad news that the nanny has killed the children, and you're kind of reading this book and understanding like why did she do this thing. This is largely based on the Manhattan murder case that happened in 2012. This was a 3-star read for me. I liked it, but I somehow felt that the pacing or the writing style was lost in translation. Overall, this book is a good pick if you like some thriller and that typical the hand that rocks the cradle kind of crime. I can see why this is an award-winning book as well, because it also focuses on the job roles of a nanny and the problems that nannies face. Also, that the nanny in this book is a white woman and is having that assumption that these kinds of jobs are done by immigrants only. So it's pretty interesting to see that kind of spin in this story as well. The next book I read was Policing Black Lives by Robin Maynard. This book I picked up for Readathon, which was hosted by Books in Lala, where you pick up more Canadian literature. And this is a non-fiction book and I gave this 5 stars. It's very educational. It talks about the state violence in Canada, right from slavery to the present, and the hardships or the struggles that Black and Indigenous people have faced in Canada has actually given me a reality check to the otherwise tolerant and welcoming image of Canada that I have. So it was quite an important read, and I think it should be required reading, at least in Canada. So I liked it. The next book I picked up was Home Before Dark, which I picked up for the Literally Dead Book Club, hosted by Books in Lala, and this gave me goosebumps. I'm easily scared. It's a typical haunted house story. I've also done a detailed review on my channel, so I won't talk a lot about this in my wrap-up, which I will put the description to the detailed review in my link in the description box below if you want to check that out. I give this book 4 stars. I loved it. Not the ending as much. It's my first Riley Sager book, but definitely a book worth picking up. It's a mixture of mystery, thriller, and horror, so I don't know which genre to put this in, but definitely a good pick. The last book I picked up was Ahimsa, and I picked this book up for the Indian Readathon. This was Indian historical fiction. It's set in the 1940s during the freedom struggle moment, and it's told by a point of view of a 10-year-old named Anjali. She comes from a very well-to-do family, but her friends, one is a Muslim, one is a Dalit, so you get to see a lot of their struggles as well. And I like the issues that are addressed in this book. You get to see the Hindu-Muslim right at its peak, and also the Dalits that were treated as untouchables and were not allowed to be educated and stuff like that. So I feel it's a very educational book, and it would be very good for juveniles to pick it up as well, because it has a lot of history lessons along with good storytelling, which I really loved. It also has a pet named Nandini, who's a cow, and that was a nice touch to the whole story, I would say. So that's it, and I gave this book 4 stars. So that's it. That's all the books I've read for the month of August. If you read any of these books, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. I've also done some detailed reviews of these in my blog, so if you want to check them out, I'll put the links to it in the description below. That's it. So until then, happy reading, and I'll see you in another video. Ta-da!